Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Honor Thy Podcast. This is the DC TV Arrowverse podcast that we do on this channel. And today, once again, I am joined by Hoss, as per usual, and Daniel Finn, as per usual. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing a variety of different news, including some other non-Arrowverse news. And we also, of course, have the latest episode of Arrow that we're doing in our retrospective series, which is Season 1, Episode 9, otherwise entitled Year's End, otherwise known as the mid-season finale of Season 1. So, first of all, how are you guys doing?
Good. Stressing at the moment because man's just been doing bad at FIFA before coming onto this. So if I sound angrier than usual, which I'm always angry, that's my excuse. Blame FIFA.
Yeah, the many years of just rage building up on FIFA is something I just see grow within you every year. And what about you, Dan?
Yeah, man. I'm doing good. Just chilling, really. And yeah, you don't have to say my full name in the intro. You can just call me Dan.
Yeah, that's
cool.
True. Yeah, we do have a differentiation thing now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, actually, I have a nickname for you. Oh, a nickname for myself. Sorry, that I put in the chat. You can now call me Shotgun Dan.
No,
that's my nickname.
We've already been through this. This isn't going to happen. No matter how much you want it to happen, it's not going to happen. I refuse. I want to get rid of that out of my mind. I never want to think about it again. And that will be a constant reminder, and it's painful.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
You call Guggenheim Googie, you call Felicity Fifi, and I don't get my own nickname.
Well, I mean, you are very new. You know, you have to earn it.
Wow.
You haven't earned it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, patience, please.
Okay.
As time goes on, it took Dan many years to get a nickname. So
can you also make
the
Can you also make the picture of Nate dabbing the background for this podcast?
For this particular one?
Yeah.
Or just forever.
Just for this episode. For forever, yeah.
I mean, if I remember, I'll slap it in. No promises though.
Just spinning animation onto the screen.
I'll just put it in all the thumbnails. Instead of the DC Central logo, I'll just slap that in there. That's the logo of the podcast.
Nice.
So let's
Shotgun Night podcast.
Dan, get out.
If you're not careful, he will kick you off this podcast if you keep on saying that.
Yeah, you're on very thin ice. So, with this podcast, we're going to be talking about some non-Arrowverse news. And before you click away, this is the Snyder Cut that we're going to be talking about. It's actually happening. It's actually somewhat real. So, this was announced on a live stream. Zack Snyder was doing a live watch-along of Man of Steel.
Bear in mind, this was completely and utterly scripted moment. Totally.
Completely.
It was so obvious. It was actually cringe-inducing. And I don't care if any of you Snyder bros are there like, oh, it was such a weird, nice surprise. No, it wasn't. Scripted.
I mean, everyone knew it was going to happen like 2 days before it actually happened anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, this live stream was happening. They were all watching Man of Steel, the worst DC film, and they were just doing it.
I'm not even the first one to take shots at these guys properly. This man's going in.
I mean...
Wait, worse than Green Lantern?
Oh, sorry. DCEU film, I meant, sorry.
Yeah. Alright.
But we don't disrespect Green Lantern in here because it was written by Googie.
Fuck Googie. Fuck that bastard.
But the Snyder Cut has now been officially revealed, or, well, Zack Snyder's Justice League, as it's officially titled, and it's going to be arriving on HBO Max at some time in 2021. We don't know when yet. So, talk about a selling point for HBO Max. All the Snyder bros are going to be logging onto that. And I guess the first thing to address here is, what do you guys think about the Snyder Cut? Are you excited about it? And do you think it's actually going to be any good?
The thing is that this thing has been so chanted about so much for the past 3 years that I feel like even when it comes out, it's not going to live up to anyone's expectations.
No.
Like, I don't remember ever like hearing such demand from a vocal minority for like a specific director's cut of the films in like forever. Never been heard of. But I mean, I'm happy that he's going to get his vision of the film told, because at the end of the day, that's what a director deserves. They deserve the right to always have their vision of the film that they're making realised. And I mean, it's pretty clear to anyone who watched Justice League that wasn't the case. It was clearly two people's movies, his and Joss Whedon's, slammed into one. So yeah, I'm happy that he's going to do it. At the same time, I don't think it will honestly change the film all that much. I don't think it's going to change it from an average movie to a great film. It's just not going to happen. Just because I just don't feel like that will be the case. And Zack Snyder's a filmmaker who I think it peaked for me way too early in his career. His peak for me was like 300 and Watchmen. Everything he's done since then just hasn't been at those same heights. And I don't know. And I also feel like as well, this cut specifically has just been bullied into existence because of the fact that vocal minority fan base has just been so toxic and abusive online. And I feel like as a result, Warner Brothers have kind of been peer pressured, but not necessarily for the right reasons to make this. So it just makes me question whether it will come out like as good a quality as it maybe would have done if people had spoken out about it. I guess in a better light, not being as negative or toxic towards people maybe who don't really care about it. Because the thing is, I've wanted to see it, but it's not something that I've actively campaigned for, and I've just tried my best to stay away from this whole Snyder Cut movement. I've just tried my best to stay out of it, just because I never found it a particularly nice fandom to be a part of. But I'm happy he's gonna get it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
But yeah, you know what this whole sort of campaign reminds me of? It's a bit like New Mutants, where the fact that it's just been pushed back so much now, where I just couldn't give a rat's ass like when it comes out. Like, and to be honest, when this like cut comes out, it's not going to affect anything. It's not going to make them change this universe because they got Robert Pattinson now. Like, if it does do well, then doesn't that kind of just shit on Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, I feel like
against him from the off, which some people already are, and it's just going to get all these Batflecks come back. Where like I like Batfleck, so I'm all up for having more of him, but I just don't think it's going to make them decide that this DC universe is where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, this universe has already moved on past that original version of what Snyder wanted for Justice League. Because we've had movies since then. We've had a recast of Batman and all these characters. Commissioner Gordon's gone from a white guy to a black guy. We haven't
had a Flashpoint movie yet.
Exactly. It's just that's the thing with this, because you look at maybe other director's cuts that we've had years after like the original versions. Like you look at something like Blade Runner, or even like the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. Those things came so far after the original versions that those franchises had already ceased to exist. So them coming out, it was all right because it didn't place those respective franchises in a terrible situation. Whereas with this, because it's come so recent afterwards, and this is a franchise that's still ongoing, it does, like I say, if it ends up somehow, and I don't think it will, if it ends up being such a great movie, then I'd hate to be the Warner Brothers executives just sat there thinking, oh God, this is actually good. What do we do now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, Ezra Miller's in hot water, so I don't know what's going to happen with him if they then decide that they're going to go through with this, because there's going to be so many like continuity like errors in it. Like you said, Commissioner Gordon has been recast, so what are they going to do?
At least all of J.K. Simmons is working out will actually go to something.
Yeah,
true.
Jacked Gordon will actually make.
Are we going to see Jacked Gordon fight off one of the parademons?
We're going to see Jacked Gordon actually like get involved as part of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Snyder Cut is like such a mysterious thing. It's a thing that's just been in the background. Like we've kind of known it's been there. Obviously, it's not a completed version of the film, but it's we always knew that Snyder had something. So seeing it come in, I mean, honestly, it's a win-win really for everyone in some respects, because obviously it's a win for Zack because he finally gets to make the film he always wanted to make and actually get it done. It's a win for the Snyder Bros who wanted it. It's a win for the fans as well, because even though I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder and I wouldn't say I'm particularly excited for the Snyder Cut, I'm definitely very interested in it and I will watch it for sure. It's just, I think this is just such a weird thing because people have been acting like this will be like the godsend of film. Like this will be
The,
like
the second coming of Jesus Christ,
where it's
basically.
but like what you got to remember is at the end of the day, like I mean, I think this film will be better than the initial Justice League, but that's only because there won't be as many cooks in the kitchen. It will just be one singular vision, and it won't be a film that's chopped into halves, which Justice League so obviously is. So with this, I think it will be better, and it will be more fleshed out as well, because they've already told us it's going to be 4 fucking hours long. But, like, they're even struggling, because I know they're already having, like, discussions about whether they're just going to release a 4-hour cut, or if they're just going to release it in 6 individual episodes, which, for me, already tells me that Snyder has way more than Warner Brothers were ever planning to release anyway, because if you think about it, like, if Zack never got kicked off the project, which I know it's said that he left, but he didn't, he was kicked off. I know that's actually a true thing. Like Warner Brothers used his daughter killing herself as a cover-up to fire him. If he never got kicked off the project and he just remained as the director the entire time, Joss Whedon never got involved, his film would have never been 4 hours long anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The studio wouldn't have allowed it, and theaters wouldn't have allowed it. So it's just this is just him fully being allowed to just do whatever he wants. And I do think that this whole idea of the Snyder Cut is very dangerous for the film industry, because at this point now you're kind of saying, oh well, any director should, with enough support and with enough essential bullying, can get any film made, which I think is dangerous. I think it's a thing where, you know, sometimes lines do have to be drawn, sometimes things can't be done, because as you say, this universe has moved on. Like, this universe isn't the same place. The movie's even been retconned. Like in Justice League, they literally say that Wonder Woman hasn't operated since World War One, but now we're getting Wonder Woman 1984, so that's already been retconned. Obviously, we're getting a recast of Batman, like you mentioned. Robert Pattinson's coming in, and even though I'm a big fan of Batfleck and I'm excited to see that, as you say, it does kind of shit on Robert Pattinson's version of Batman before it's even come out, because this will probably release before the Batman comes out. And what makes me laugh the most as well is that people, as you were mentioning, is like people are acting like this is the second coming and this is going to be this huge thing. Are you forgetting how bad Man of Steel and Batman v Superman are? And they were Zack's complete vision, so what's your excuse there? Like, people are saying, like, oh, if he makes this entire version of Justice League, it'll be Zack's complete vision. BVS was his full creative control, and look how messy that movie was. What makes you think this is going to be any better?
Exactly, that needed a director's cut to explain all the plot holes, then that just added the extra problem of the film being 3 hours long.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just made a film that was already boring even longer. But, like, this is, like... That's what makes me laugh. People are like, oh, we just need to see his full, complete vision so it'll feel less messy. BVS is one of the most messy comic book movies I've ever seen, and that was his full creative control.
I know.
Like, what do you think this is going to be?
Yeah, I feel like Zack Snyder's one of those people where I think he works best when he's using a source material that's a very set structure that he can follow. Like, I think for me, his best 3 films, without question, are his first film, which I think was Dawn of the Dead, which was easy enough because that was a remake. 300 because it was just literally a straight adaptation of the graphic novel. And then you've got, you know, Watchmen, which was a fairly accurate adaptation of the source material apart from the ending. Those are his 3 best films because he's not having to try and take stuff from the source material and mix and match it with other stuff. Because that's the problem for me, especially with BVS. That was its ultimate downfall.
Like 4 different storylines going on. You've got Lex, you've got Doomsday, you've got the death of Superman, you've got the Batman v Superman plot. There's just so much going on in that movie, and it all comes up like the Death of Superman should have been an entire film by itself, but they literally have they just shoehorn it in the last 15 minutes. Wonder Woman shoehorned in, and then you get like Justice League, which just has so much other stuff in it that's just so rushed and so, you know, it just comes together in a way that doesn't feel natural whatsoever.
Yeah,
and I mean, I think this will be better because I think it will allow, you know, the stuff that Joss Whedon added, which I don't think was particularly good. I think Joss Whedon added a lot of really bad humour to the film, stuff that he thought was funny, like particularly the joke where Ezra Miller lands on top of Wonder Woman. It's just fucking wrong. So much to the point that Gal Gadot literally refused to do that scene. Like, that's not Gal Gadot, that's her stunt double. If the actress isn't comfortable doing it, I think that should tell you it's wrong. And then like the scene where Batman actually goes to get the Flash and the lighting is different and Ezra's haircut is literally different. It's honestly horrendous. So I think this will be better, but it's not going to be much better. Like, it's not going to be this thing where it's like, oh, this film is instantly fixed and it's an all-time classic. It's just not going to be. Zack Snyder's not that great of a director. And I don't mean to like badmouth the guy. He seems super lovely and he seems super passionate, but I just don't... I don't like this fan base, and it really annoys me that their kind of constant harassment of Warner Brothers has caused them to finally do this. And
Exactly.
and that's what I mean by the fact it's dangerous. Like, so what does this mean for other studios and other directors? Like, everyone's already like, I already see David Ayer piping up saying, "Oh, release the Ayer cut." Do one, David. I don't care.
Well, that's the sort of thing now. As if you said, "What is it actually going to be 4 hours long?"
That's what they've said.
Yeah.
It's 4 hours.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
And they're considering to
watching
either
that one,
release
though.
it or release it in 6 half-an-hour episodes, which would be released weekly, which I think is a terrible idea.
That's terrible because then you'll end up forgetting like part of it. Like I'd probably watch it in like 2 stints rather than like one. But like you said, like it's a win for like the fans and stuff like that. But the film's not even complete. Like he's still got to go back and like complete some of it, doesn't he?
I believe most of it's post-production, to be fair, but
like the effects and stuff like that.
I believe he's not shooting anything, but just because obviously, like, because you wouldn't be able to shoot anything with like Ben Affleck, for example, because he is just he's not in the right shape for the role. Because like Ben Affleck completely moved on. Like Ben Affleck hated being Batman at the time anyway. Never mind coming back.
Yeah. But I still feel like it's a gamble, HBO Max, like taking this on, because if this flops and the money that Warner Brothers is pumping into this film again for him to complete it, like they've got to have faith that this is going to make money if this is what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd also like to remind Warner Brothers that they also cost about 20-30 million for the Joss Whedon reshoots, and look what happened.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like this is a gamble, and if it goes wrong again, like I don't know what this fandom is going to do when that goes wrong.
The thing is, though, people, when this comes out, and if it's terrible or bad, which it will be,
I'm going to laugh.
I mean, so will I. But people won't admit, like, people won't admit for it. It'll take a few years, and people will come around to it. But eventually, and at least initially, people will not admit that this is bad. People will be like, "Oh, this is amazing. We can't." Everyone will be in denial, and then immediately, a couple of years later, people will be like, "Oh, this isn't that good."
Yeah, there's a couple of people already.
No one talked about BVS. No one was all this stuff where people were like, "Oh, BVS is a masterpiece." There were a few people who said that initially, but for the most part, this only came about after Zack was actually fired from Justice League. That's only when this stuff actually started happening. So this just shows to me that people are like, people will do anything just to get behind a bandwagon, and it's just
deluded.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, like there's already a couple of people that I know. Once I watch this and I realize it's shit, and a lot of people are saying it's shit, that I'm just going to ask them, what do they think? And if they tell me that after lobbying for years of this like film that they think it's shit, I'm just going to laugh. Like I'm honestly just going to laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. It just isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it will be better, by my prediction,
but it's not exactly that difficult to be better than Justice League. It's not really much for like
it's not
special achievements.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So,
do you know if they're going to fix how Ezra Miller runs in the film or not?
Oh, please. Hopefully that's included in the visual effects. And also, are they going to be able to fix Henry Cavill's upper lip?
No, just give him a mustache in the film.
Yeah, just actually. That's the thing, though. Like, hopefully, that is the exciting thing that comes from the Snyder Cut, is that we do get to think about what could potentially be in it. Like, we might actually see the black suit, which we know was in there. Henry shot in it. Like, we know that exists, so we might actually get that. Also, like, even Zack yesterday literally released a photo of Ryan Choi in the film.
That's what I was about to say. He like since the film has been lobbying for the Zack Snyder Cut, he's been on that other social media site just posting what would have been in it. Where I'm just like, oh, okay, you've now spoiled that. Cheers. You've now spoiled Ryan Choi. Cheers.
I mean,
like
when
I come to
this, that Harry Lennox's character from Man of Steel is meant to be the Martian Manhunter, apparently.
Yeah.
And isn't Green Lantern in it as well?
Yeah, apparently. I mean, obviously there is that Green Lantern cameo in the movie, but then there's also apparently Hal Jordan, isn't it?
Is actually in it, yeah. So he spoiled so much of it that I'm like, when I watch it, what am I going to be excited for now? Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you'd be excited for, because this does get me excited. Apparently, there is an extended post-credit scene with Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke.
Yeah,
that's the only good thing I actually liked about that, because I really like his suit.
Yeah,
I actually think Joe would be good as Deathstroke. So, yeah, if anything comes from this cut, it's the Deathstroke solo film with Joe in it. Yeah.
I mean, that movie will unfortunately never happen now, probably.
No.
Yeah, it will never happen. It will never happen. But...
Gareth Evans is already doing other shit. Like he's just done Gangs of London. I reckon he's moved on from that. He's moved on.
Yeah.
I can't believe we were about to get a Joe Manganiello Deathstroke film directed by Gareth Evans, and Warner Brothers were like, no. Like, come on.
That's the only thing. I think if like could happen is if people lobby for that, because I know that Joe hinted at it that they're getting the extended scene, so possibly people could start lobbying for that. I don't know.
I would also like to propose hashtag release the Whedon cut, because it's only fair. But anyway, as you can tell, I don't think any of us are particularly a big fan of this idea. But
no.
I mean, we're all going to watch it anyway, so we're all mugs.
Can we get the Guggenheim cut of the rest of the Arrow seasons?
Can we get the
Guggenheim cut of Arrow season 4, where it's just even worse?
No, the Arrow season 4 already is the Googie cut.
Yeah, basically.
Like, he killed Laurel. That's like the ultimate like Googie. So
can we stop saying Googie?
No, that's his name. That's what we call
it. It is Googie. We do call him Googie.
We've called it for years. It's not changing now. So anyway, let's move back into the Arrowverse and talk about the big shocking news which took the entire internet by storm. News that every single DCTV YouTuber, as Dan said in our chat, was using the phrase, I didn't expect to be reporting on this today.
Yep.
And, I mean, none of us did. So Ruby Rose has officially departed Batwoman ahead of the second season. She will no longer be playing the role of Kate Kane going forward, and the role will be officially recast. Now, this was very shocking. I've never seen anything like this happen, really.
Yeah, it was weird because it was literally announced like not long after we ended the call for the last podcast.
Yeah,
it was an hour later. It was madness.
Yeah, because I remember this always happens. Like, well, it'll be something like Grant Gustin's like dropped out of the Flash after we finish recording this. But like,
oh man, if he does that, I'm just gonna give up.
I'm done. It's interesting because this news literally just dropped and everyone was like, what? And I think obviously there was a lot of speculation about why Ruby's left. I think there's a few contributing factors which we can go through. But apparently the official word is that apparently she wasn't... It was actually a mutual decision between her and Warner Brothers and the CW, because she wasn't particularly happy with the production and the working hours and things like that, which from Warner Brothers' eyes didn't exactly make her a very easy worker or someone easy to work with, at least as like a cast member and a crew member. So it was like a mutual decision that it just wasn't the right... it wasn't the right move, and it best for them just to like part ways, early in the series rather than let it go on any longer. That's the word. That's what has been said, but that's not really official.
I find that ridiculous if that's the reason, is that she couldn't do the work hours. She knew what she was signing up to. Like, come on.
See, this is surely... the thing. I don't like this. I don't like this excuse that people say, "Oh, she knew what she was getting into," because at the end of the day, she knew what she was getting into, but at the same time, these people who are saying that, like, you're not doing it yourself. Like, you're not in that position. Like, until you're actually there, you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's a long way from home. It's a long way from the people you love, and it's long way. It's stressful hours. Like, these people, like, if you talk to any of the CW actors, like, if you listen to what they say always say how long these productions are, how long the shoots are. It's in Vancouver where it's freezing. Like, it's just not. They don't sound honestly fun to shoot, and like everyone talks about, even when it comes down to like, the crossovers and stuff like that, people. Like, if you listen to, like, Grant Gustin on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast and even Stephen Amell, like, they say, like, it's bad shooting the crossovers because of how stressful it is. Like, until you're actually there doing it.
To them, though.
Huh?
Surely she would have spoken to the likes of Stephen and Grant and stuff.
Yeah, but they're not exactly going to say to her, "Oh, it's terrible."
But she would have got an idea of what they're like. And
yeah, but I think it comes down to the fact that it's a thing where, in her head, when she first signed on to the role, I'm sure she seemed up for it. I'm sure she was like, "Oh yeah, I can do this." But until you're actually there doing it, it's completely different ballgame.
I can agree.
like I think it's one of those things where people are too quickly to jump, to blame someone. But it's this thing where, if you're not actually there doing it, you can't really say because you're not in their shoes. You don't know how she was feeling. You don't know, the pressure that she was under. Like, she's the lead of this series. That's a big responsibility, and she's playing a big character. And this is the thing that I always come back to as well. I think that might have been part of it, but I also think a contributing factor is just all of the hate that she's received, from her initial casting all the way up to the production. She gets so unnecessarily hated on, and I said it in my video. I said it before we started recording. Like, I was critical on the casting. I didn't think it was a particularly good choice, but ever since I watched the show, I've really enjoyed her role. But she gets so much unnecessary hate, and the show does as a whole. But her in particular, people really like to just pick on Ruby Rose. There's a lot of horrible comments, a lot of homophobic comments towards her, and if you're getting bombarded with that all the time, I mean, you're not exactly going to feel good about it, and you're not exactly going to be enthusiastic to do the show, which is a shame because Ruby was so enthusiastic when she was initially cast. Like, she was so excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And, if you're just so excited about this thing that you're doing, but the people who you're meant to be presenting this to are just bombarding you with hate comments, you're not really going to have the motivation to do it anymore. And I think it's a shame that, Ruby has essentially been bullied all this time. While doing this role, and I think it's very wrong. I think it's horrible, and I think that is a part of it because a lot of people give us, a lot of stick to the fact that she doesn't promote the show. Really, she didn't appear at Comic-Con, but equally at the same time, if she did do those things, if she promoted the show on social media, which she doesn't, but if she did, that's just giving haters an outlet to just send more hate comments. And
she turned off her comments on Instagram. Like certain people, it was like,
why do you think that was? Like,
because it's just I get it. It's like hate, and then she's recently turned them back on, and I did have a look through one of her most recent posts, and it was people saying like, don't quit, which is like nice to see.
Yeah,
but she's obviously not going to do anything now. Like, she's already sort of made up her mind that she's going, and I honestly hope that it isn't to do with hate, because that is just quite sickening.
Yeah, it's just not right.
Yeah, it's not right, and I just don't like the fact if it is going to be to hate. And honestly, I hope we don't see some like damning or like sad news article about Ruby Rose because of this.
Yeah, because I mean,
because it's happened in the past.
Oh, it absolutely has, and it's just something that for someone like her who is. She's a big personality, and she was a big name for this show. Like, to get because a lot of the Arrowverse actors are fairly unknown when they come into it. Like, like Grant was known from Glee, Melissa was known from Glee, but like Steven was pretty unknown when he came in. Like, to get someone like Ruby Rose, like, that's quite a big name to get.
It was honestly a really big pull. Like, when I saw it, I thought, wow, like this is honestly like she's decided that she doesn't want to do like just movies. Like, she wants to do TV shows now, which I guess, it does show that she was ready to go into that whole busy schedule. So I know I'm going to take back the whole thing of like her not knowing what she got into.
Yeah, I think it's a thing where she has just been going through so much. She's been bombarded time and time again with so much hate comments. Because also, like, to compare it with someone else at the moment, which I've also been seeing, and it's been horrible, is Stas Nair, who plays William on Supergirl.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of abuse.
If you go into his Instagram comments, they are horrendous. Like, people are just saying, like, I wish your character dies. I hope you don't come on the show. Like, I hope you leave. And these are all coming from Supercorp shippers mostly, because obviously he's threatening their relationship. And do you know what's worse? Do you know what annoys me more is the fact that Stas himself actually replies to these comments, and the way he replies is so sad because he literally says like, "Oh, I'm really sorry that you don't like my character, and I really hope I don't have a huge effect on you, so you stop watching us." Like he's like apologizing to them, and I'm like,
he doesn't need to.
Don't. You don't need to apologize. These people are just being absolute twats, and this is the problem with the CW. As much as I love the CW and I love the network and stuff like that, the fans are terrible. The fan base for these shows are terrible because they are, and the problem is because this fan base for the majority is very young, and,
teenage girls,
and they're very focused on the relationships, and if anything threatens that, then they are going to go after that person. That's why Katie Cassidy suffered a lot of abuse, and that's why Stas Nair is getting a lot of abuse at the moment. And I think with Ruby Rose, again, a lot of young people don't know how to handle, negativity and stuff like that. And I know people will come up with the I know I'm rambling on here, but I know a lot of people will bring up the fact, oh well, criticism is a part of entertainment. Yeah, of course it is. That's a part of the network. But there's a difference between criticism and bullying. And with Batwoman and Ruby Rose, that's definitely crossed over the line of bullying. I've seen many homophobic comments towards Ruby Rose and stuff like that, and it's just not right. It's not right at all. And I think that is a big part. I don't know if that'll ever get released, like until like maybe a few years or something like that, when Ruby's like distance herself from the role and is comfortable enough to talk about it. But I guarantee you, in a couple of years' time, she will appear on something in which she will say, "Yeah, I just couldn't handle it anymore. It became too much."
Yeah.
And you can't blame her for that.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think we'll find out anything for a good while anyway, because whenever I've seen stuff for shows where like a big actor goes in this kind of method, they usually write a gagging order anyway, so they can't say anything for about a year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect like an official response for anything anytime soon. Like in terms of for me with Ruby Rose, like with Declan, I wasn't over the moon when she was cast, but that was mainly just like I said it was more from an acting standpoint, just because I wasn't entirely convinced by her roles beforehand. I just never really enjoyed her in any of the things she'd been in before. Like she didn't impress me in John Wick Chapter 2. I didn't really care for her in The Meg or anything else that she was in. So I just didn't really like. I saw that casting and it just didn't really entice me. But I will admit she got a lot better through Batwoman as it went along. Exactly. And then it got to that last stretch of episodes where I really felt like she'd really become Kate Kane / Batwoman. Like I really did think she'd properly grown and fit into that role like a glove. So to see it just end like this it's a massive shame. And the thing is, I don't really want to commit myself into the camp of saying, she didn't understand what she was going for, or she should have known what she signed up for. I don't really know at the moment. I just prefer to stay out of it simply because there's just so much toxicity going on around it that I just prefer to stay out, because I just don't want to be involved in either party. But, like I said, the truth will find its way out eventually as to why she left, but it'll probably be for a while. It's a shame that she's gone, but at the end of the day, the show's got to go on. They're going to cast someone else, and, they might do just as good a job, if not a better job than Ruby, but I will miss her because I think she did a really good job with the first season. And yeah, I just don't really have a lot to say, just because I don't want to be involved in that fan base, because there's just the amount of idiots online, and then even people just reporting the news story about her leaving, and then just using it to like further add to their stupid agendas about this, go woke, go broke. It's just all that rubbish, absolute bollocks. So,
there's sort of a lot of like I watched the standard sort of videos about it. Like I watched your guys' videos on it, and then I did sort of get sucked into the whole. Well, let me see what some of these haters are saying. And I only got through like 2 minutes of a couple of them.
It's honestly insufferable. It's insufferable.
I'm not going to say the names because they don't deserve any sort of recognition or anything. So I'm not going to say any names. But they're honestly just morons. Like I got through 2 minutes of like 2 different videos. And if I met them in the street, I'd honestly just want to punch them, because what they're saying is like sexist, it's homophobic. It just makes you feel sick. And yeah, like what I said, I just hope we don't see like a really sad article about Ruby Rose because of this hate. And I felt like she was really growing into sort of the character, and I was looking forward to season 2. So
yeah, and it's going to be strange going into season 2, because they have said that they obviously are carrying on the show. They're going to recast the role. And
it's basically going to be like a reboot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically season 1 again, because they have.
Yeah, it's basically like season 1.
Because Ruby already has established herself within the show, within the universe. She has a rapport with all the characters, and she even has established herself within the wider Arrowverse. Like she was in Crisis. She's particularly got a very good rapport with Melissa Benoist. Obviously, they were setting up stuff at the crossover with Superman, which will inevitably still happen, but with obviously a different actress in the role. So that leads us into sort of the next discussion, which is who do we think is going to be cast? Now, the CW have come out and they said they are looking to cast another member of the LGBT community to play the role, and also specifically someone who's Jewish, which basically is them character profiling the role. Obviously, Batwoman is obviously an open lesbian character, and she is Jewish. So there are a few casting choices out there. I mean, we were discussing this off air beforehand. I think it is a bit strange how they are restricting themselves in a way within this casting. I think, these people are actors. I think you can stretch out a little bit. You don't need to place restrictions on yourself. Because in the Arrowverse, there are so many different actors who play characters of different sexualities and stuff like that. Obviously, it's great that they want to get someone who is an actual member. That's why Ruby Rose was in a way a great piece of casting, because she was such a big icon in that community, and it drew a lot of people to the show. And I definitely think that's an aspect of it. And I think if they want to really focus on that, then that's fine. But I also think it shouldn't be like a sole focus. If they want to expand out on that, I don't think that's really an issue. But I know that you guys have some casting choices, so who do we think?
Yeah, so I can see what you mean by like them sort of closing in the scope of the type of actor or actress they want. In that, the fact, if you look at Nicole Main's character in Supergirl, and with that wouldn't work if you got an actress who wasn't trans. I don't think that would have worked in her whole episode, which was centered around her. You wouldn't get that sort of raw acting that Nicole gave in that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I can see why they're sort of going down that track.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think with that, I mean, it's kind of interesting that, because it goes back as well to, obviously, an actress who's incredibly hated, really, at the moment, is Scarlett Johansson, who, obviously, her whole controversy started with the idea of her playing a trans character, and people not really being happy about that. I mean, I'm very much of the argument that, for me, it's all about getting the right person for the job. And I think, these people are actors. They are here to play roles that are not them. And again, I understand, because, like I say, with Nicole on Supergirl,
you do sort of get more authentic.
Yeah, and especially with her, because she obviously has been through a lot of stuff like that herself, and that episode for her felt so raw, and that
really
felt
good
really
episode.
Good. Like, she was genuinely fantastic there.
Yeah, that was really good.
So I get that. And like I say, when going with Ruby, like, obviously she was a big member of that community, and with Batwoman being kind of the first open lesbian superhero character, it's important to get that. And that's why I'm not exactly negative towards it. Like, I think it's absolutely fine if they want to do that, because again, I think it is important. I also just think they shouldn't restrict themselves either. It's kind of like a fine line, really. Like, if you can find someone who's amazing, then absolutely go for it. But like, if there are better choices out there, then I don't think you should restrict yourselves in that way. But yeah, so do we have any casting choices?
Castings. If you want to go first, Toss, if you got any.
I've just got the usual two that I'm pretty sure you two have already guessed. First one would have been Lily Simmons, just because, I mean, she's a beautiful woman. And also just because I remember me and Declan were jokingly saying, oh, she should be cast as Batwoman, like, I think not long after Ruby Rose got cast in the role originally. But yeah, just because I think Lily Simmons is a great actress, and I just love to see her get a big role, and also just because I think she's just fit. And then the second one, which is probably a more realistic one, is the one that's been branded around a lot, which is Wallace Day, who is in Krypton. I think she'd be really good for the role. She definitely got the physicality for it, and obviously she's worked within a DC license beforehand, and she's even been quite supportive of it online, based on what she's put on Twitter about the fan campaign for her to play Batwoman. I think she'd be a really cool choice. Again, I don't really know whether she falls into the LGBTQ guidelines, but I think she'd be really cool for the role, and she'd probably be my proper pick for it. Again, if I was being a little stupid fanboy, I'd go with Lily Simmons, but getting my proper head switched on, I think she'd be a really good choice for the role.
Yeah, like with my list, I haven't really gone into whether they fit the quota. It's more just my sort of thoughts of whether they'd actually look like Kate Kane and sort of act like her.
Yeah.
So, like, I know a lot of people have said Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Stephanie Beatrice. Yeah, with, like, her, I don't really want her to go to Batwoman, because then we lose Rosa.
Yeah, she go off Brooklyn Nine-Nine, yeah.
Like, unless there's a way where she can somehow do two shows.
I don't think there's any way that she could.
There's no way.
Because they film in different places, and obviously she's a series regular on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Obviously, she would have to be obviously a regular on Batwoman, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she could still, technically, if she just left Brooklyn Nine-Nine in like see you later, like I'm not gone type of thing.
Yeah,
And she just comes back in every like once a season, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, she's very interested in the role as well because she put out a tweet and stuff about it. So
yeah, I think she could be good. I don't really know.
The only thing is with her is I don't see it necessarily.
I don't see the the likeness of her.
No, I don't see her as like having the aesthetic of Batwoman necessarily. Which is a shame. I mean, I really like her, and she's hilarious.
She might look good under the suit, like in the suit, but I don't think she could be Kate. I think that's yeah. And she's too funny in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like I don't know what she like when she gets serious. Then I've got a couple of others. Adriana Palicki, I think she was in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She seems kind of cool. Got that sort of badass like look about her in acting style. Another one, Dan or Deck. I don't know if you'd agree with this. Maybe Catherine Winnick. Could she do it?
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
But, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I wouldn't say no, but I'd prefer her as the Black Canary if we have
I mean,
yeah.
Sure, why not? But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, another one I've sort of seen.
I mean, also, if she does that, she won't be able to do with Assassin Season 2. So.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Screw that. Okay, she's not Batwoman. Another one that I've seen going around that a lot of these people are saying, because I think she's also Jewish, and identifies as like pansexual, is Ashley Platt. I don't know if you guys have heard of her.
No.
Yeah, she did a leak. There's a leaked tape she did for Batwoman. It actually looks really good. It was the scene where they're in the restaurant and she gets told off about her shoes.
Oh yeah.
Wearing like sneakers. And to be fair, I watched the tape. It seems really good, so I wouldn't mind her. And last one, just for me, because like you said, Dan, with Wallace Day, that you think she's, or not Wallace Day, was it Lily Simmons? You said a major TV crush of mine is Crystal Reed. So I'd love to see her as Batwoman. So that would be like really awesome. And I think she could do it as well. Like she was on Swamp Thing and she's like really good in that. And she also was in Teen Wolf and played like an archer hunter type character. So she's got that sort of badass side to her. So I'm down for her if they get her as well. What about you, Deck?
I think I've got a couple. The first one I've got is like a complete like pipe dream. Like it would never happen. She's far too big. She'd never do it. But I think it'd be really awesome if Kristen Stewart did it. And I know people are gonna like shout saying, "Oh, Kristen Stewart is not a good actress." I mean, she's not, but I think she's really. But I really enjoy Kristen Stewart.
Oh my god!
I really enjoy her. I think she has the look. She has the aesthetic. I think she'd be perfect. I mean, what I really want is for her to play Batwoman in a movie opposite Robert Pattinson. That would be brilliant. But I don't know.
Are you a secret Twilight fan that you're just not confessing to us?
I've never seen Twilight. But
liar.
No, I'm a big fan of Charlie's Angels. People know this.
It's shit movie.
I love Charlie's Angels. It's fun.
I can see the look. I know what Deck's going on about. I can sort of see.
Yeah, she's got the aesthetic for it, and I think she has like a similar vibe to Ruby Rose. She's also a lesbian, so I think it could work. But again, she's far too big. It would never happen. So my other choice, which I've kind of just come off on the spot, I'm not sure about if she's a member of the LGBT community or anything like that, but I just think that she is a genuinely fantastic actress after doing one movie, and I would love to see her get like a big leading role like this. Is Julia Fox from Uncut Gems.
Oh mate, that arse in the back.
I'm so jealous of Adam Sandler. I'm jealous of Adam Sandler just for that.
That is an absolutely brilliant casting choice right there, Deck.
Like I don't know if it would ever happen. Like Julia Fox is obviously she's a lot more of like a model really than an actress, but like she was brilliant in Uncut Gems, so good. Like I think she has the physicality for it.
different films.
Oh yeah, like I hope that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have watched interviews with her and stuff, and she's saying that she hopes to go into acting now. Like she hopes that Uncut Gems kind of opens that door for her, which it absolutely should. She was absolutely stole that movie. She was so good, and I think she could work for a role like this. I mean, I don't know if they'd be able to bring her onto the CW because she's a bit more kind of, I guess, not as family friendly. I guess because even when you look at like her modeling work, it's not exactly.
For the family.
Yeah, you're not exactly going to sit down and go through a modelling with your mum and dad. But
how did Adam Sandler get to tap that? It's... I don't know. I mean, sorry, I'm speaking out of my head here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it ever happened, but I just thought about it. I just thought, oh my god, I'd love to see Julia Fox in this. It'd be amazing. I just don't know if she'd again do a CW show in particular, but it's just an idea. I need to come up with an actual realistic choice, but
yeah, Pagey just put out a top 5, so it'd be interesting to see what he says.
Yeah.
He's got Sin from Arrow in his thumbnail.
No.
Sorry,
nah.
She's small. She's too small. Like, I don't think she's got the physique for it.
No.
I don't know, Deck, was it? I think it was your video. Did you say that the redhead from Riverdale would be a good choice?
I mean, that was a while ago. That was when, like, that was before Ruby Rose was cast. But, like, I mean, I've kind of gone off that idea now, but
I
liked it at the time.
A lot of the time
I watched Riverdale back then.
yeah. A lot of my early casting choices were just actresses with like red hair, but it doesn't have to be that.
It was like an instant jumping on point, really. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do like Madeleine Petsch. I think she's really good. I think she's the best part of Riverdale, to be honest. But even though I haven't watched the show since season 2.
Last week.
I mean, I just want to go with Julia Fox. I want Julia Fox and everything, to be honest.
I think I do too.
So I guess you could leave your own castings as well in the comments. I'm actually going to do like I've actually got a video planned. Unfortunately, Pagey's already nicked it. I was going to do a top 5 or like top 3 choices for Batwoman. I already get accused of copying Pagey.
Just saying.
I mean, I already get accused of copying Pagey enough.
you are the Pagey copycat.
He just always like releases the videos like the day before I want to do them. It's annoying.
I think you should sort him out.
Yeah, well, he liked my tweet earlier, so it's good. So anyway, that's the Batwoman news all wrapped up. Jesus, we're like 47 minutes. I haven't even spoke about Arrow yet.
That was long. That was long.
Been a ranty episode. So I guess briefly, we'll just talk about the most recent episode. So there's the Stargirl pilot, which we'll move over to Dan to talk about, because neither me or Hoss have seen it yet.
Yeah, so I've watched the first episode. I found it fun. It was really fun. It felt like you were watching a film, to be honest, because it's obviously quite big budget with it being on DC Universe. Yeah, it was fun. The cast seems really good. I think they've got a great actress in Breck Basinger, is it? Yeah, as the main character. She's really good. Owen Wilson's brother, whose name has just escaped me, Luke Wilson. He's really good as well. I can't get over the fact that he has the same voice as Owen Wilson. It really racks my brain and makes me think I'm watching.
Cast Owen Wilson as Batwoman.
Wow. Yeah, it was really fun. Like the ending, I was like, wow. The ending is really good. Like the cliffhanger is really good. I'm no good at impressions. Like, don't roast me in the comments, please. It was a good episode. I'm looking forward to more. To be honest, yeah. And you guys definitely should watch it and see what you think.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I just typical me, forgot to do so before getting into this episode.
Yeah, I mean,
as per usual.
The only thing I will say with it being a bit more like high production value than say the CW is I think it may go down the thing where it's good. I don't know if they're going to be afford to be able to do like a second season. I think that's why other stuff got dropped, like Swamp Thing and stuff like that. Is that the studio actually found it too expensive? And likewise,
does it not look like a CW show? Does it look?
No, the opening is very like you feel like you're watching a film. Like when the title of Stargirl comes onto the screen, it's very much like a film.
No.
It doesn't do like a intro like the Flash does. Like it sort of swipes onto the screen, like comes in from the distance. So it's very film like. Yeah. So it definitely feels very high budget.
I think it all comes down to how well it actually does on the CW. Like if people, from what I heard, like the ratings were quite good.
Yeah.
So if it does well, then I think that it might become a thing where it just moves over to the CW full time. Because I mean, the DC universe is going to crash and burn. It already has.
Yeah, it will do. That thing's gonna be done in a few years.
Isn't it basically all just going on to HBO Max now?
Yeah, it's just being shared about everywhere. I mean, like, the only thing it's got really to itself is Titans.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a ringing endorsement.
Sheet.
It's gonna drop off.
So, so that's Stargirl. We'll talk more about it probably in the next one properly. And the next episode will be out by then probably, so we'll do that. And then there was also Legends this week, which was fine. Move on. Is there any thoughts on Legends?
Just typical crap Legends,
The thing that aggravated me was the bus. They were meant to be in like London or England, and it looked like an American bus. I've never seen a bus like that in England.
You could tell they ran out of budget when they filmed this episode. It's like, oh shit, guys, got to save a budget somehow. Let's just pretend it's in England, even though it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. It was practically filmed in a field which, we might have a lot of those in England or the UK, but Legends was like, oh my god, England is just one big field. No, it's not.
I mean, are we excited about the latest relationship of Constantine and Zari?
Oh, I've been waiting for that.
This whole episode, I knew it was going to go that way. I was like, these two are just they just need to bang. Like they just need to get it over with.
Kari. I've already started on Twitter.
Kari, oh god.
They just need to bang it over with because it's just the sexual tension. It's killing me. But I
wish that Legends was R-rated because I want to see that.
To be fair, if any of the Arrowverse shows be R-rated, it should be Legends, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, the only thing that really stood out to me was not only that, because I was like, okay, that was weird, but also I quite liked what they did with like Ava, like her sort of crying over Sarah was quite good. But yeah, that's about it really. And I mean, we had like a whole episode focused around Gary, and we brought like physical Gideon back. And she is weirdly attracted to Gary for some reason.
It's hot.
Yeah, she's hot, yeah, but oh, God. She's pretty much the only reason I was paying attention to the episode.
It's just so weird hearing that voice come out of an actual person.
Yeah. It doesn't fit her like face, does it?
No. It's just bizarre.
To the point where I thought it was a dub because I forgot what the actress looked like. And I had to do a Google to find out who it was.
Yeah, it's just it was fine. It was much better than the last one, I guess.
No, it wasn't because there was no Shotgun Nate. So I'm disappointed, and I give that episode of you a 1 out of 10.
Daniel,
there was no
left the
call. Stop saying my last name because these like commenters are gonna come and like hunt me down.
You can go. Did I ever tell you at the time I got stalked by a Facebook fan?
No, go on.
Oh, this was years ago.
This was like 2 years ago. I got like constant harassment from like this guy trying to message me on Facebook all the time.
About what?
Just about stuff.
What about your YouTube videos?
Yeah, and just like DC stuff, and I was just like, go away. So eventually I had to block him. But yeah, fun times.
You can tell us more off the podcast. I want to know more.
Yeah, you can. We'll leave that till post. So anyway, we'll move over to Arrow. I guess we'll try and make this a bit quicker because this episode's been going quite a long time. So Arrow season 1, episode 9, Year's End, which is the mid-season finale. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, like this is a banging episode.
A very, very banging episode.
Like, it's pretty god tier.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, big thing here, we get introduced to the Dark Archer.
Dark Archer.
I actually forget how cool the Dark Archer is. Like he's actually really cool in this episode.
Yeah, he's cool. I love his little like theme that plays whenever he shows up as well. Oh mate, it's just the nostalgia kicks in when you hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got more points on him, but we'll get to him like as we get further into the episode without spoiling what happens already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But nah,
I mean, feel free to jump about.
Okay. Well, yeah. Obviously, like we had the reveal of the Dark Archer, and then just near the end as well, we are revealed that the Dark Archer is in fact, go on, Dave.
Mr. Malcolm Merlin.
Oh no.
Dun dun dun.
We've all known about it for 8 years.
Brilliant reveal. Like it was a good reveal, but I do feel like it could have come a few episodes later. The fact that we just found out about this Dark Archer and then it's revealed in the same episode who it is, I was like, didn't really like that. Looking back on it now,
I sort of agree, but the thing is, I feel like they kind of planted the seeds that Malcolm was clearly clearly a more, I don't know how you'd say, he was hiding a certain set of skills per se in previous episodes, and that he clearly had like other motivations. So I can kind of see why they revealed him in this episode, but I do get, they could have probably played out as more of a mystery. But I guess that's just something they weren't interested in with this season, because I think the main mystery itself was the undertaking.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had that as well, maybe they just thought, we didn't need that. We've already got a mystery. It's okay to do that. Whereas like something with Prometheus in season 5, that was very much about the mystery of who he was.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I get that. Maybe they just didn't know how much they were going to use John and the Dark Archer. Maybe that's just what it is. And then they thought right near the end, like, oh, yeah, we should use him some more.
But no, he's good in this episode. I like how they really built him up as a threat, given the fact that this is the first episode we've seen the Dark Archer, and then you feel the threat level of him as a character just because of clearly how skilled he is. And it's just you just forget sometimes how cool a villain he was, because we always talk about Deathstroke and we always talk about Prometheus. It's always between those two as to who the best villain on Arrow is. But then when you go back and you watch season 1, the Dark Archer is a pretty cool villain, and then especially towards the end of the season, like that's where you really start to get the good stuff, as I like to call it. But I thought it was cool in this episode.
Yeah.
I always forget how cool his suit looks.
Yeah.
His suit looks really cool when he first kind of comes in, especially because his suit kind of gets ruined by the time you get to season 3, because you just realize it's just like a League suit, because everyone just kind of wears it. But it's really cool at this point, like seeing like a dark version of Oliver's suit, like a dark reflection of it is cool, because like everyone goes on about Flash having speeds to villains. There aren't actually really like main Archer villains on Arrow. Like it's pretty much just him, Prometheus, and I guess Emiko. So like there isn't really like many. So it's kind of cool to have like, this is literally the opposite reflection of Oliver in a way. I quite enjoy that. It's fun. And obviously John Barrowman is just awesome, obviously.
He was amazing in this episode.
Yeah.
He gets a lot to do in this as well, which I like. Like he's kind of in the episode more than we've seen him before, especially because he gets that absolutely cracking line where he says Green Arrow and all
I really love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I mean, it's ironic because in season 4, obviously he becomes Green Arrow, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess at the time he was pretending he was a different person, I guess, so he can get away with it.
You know what? I really wish that they'd, in season 8, have recreated that line and John Barrowman says you should call him the Green Arrow, and just to get like Oliver's reaction to it that time, knowing that he is the Green Arrow. Would he like be like, wait, did I get it from you? Did you like put that into my head and I kept it? Or like,
I mean, in the season 8 premiere, there is kind of that moment where he tells Adrian to call himself Green Arrow, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Like he says to him, just call yourself Green Arrow, like just trust me.
What was he going under? What was his name?
I think he was just the Hood. Like I think it was like season 1, he was just the Hood.
Yeah. Hood guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the action was really good in this. Like, it was nice to actually see like an Archer on Archer fight as well. Like, just seeing them fight. Like, I like the line where Malcolm's like, "Oh, I want what any Archer wants. See who's better," and it kind of just like initiates in that fight. And he's kind of brutal as well. Like, he shoots Oliver like 3 times.
Yeah, man pulls no punches, fam. He just destroys him.
Twice in the back and then kicks him through a wall.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
What
Malcolm is
we would
strong.
like to see is sort of an arrow, like Oliver's arrow, then hitting Malcolm's arrow at the same time. That would have been good.
Have they ever done that?
No, they've done it like with Prometheus, where he threw his star
Oh yeah,
through the
yeah.
middle of one of Oliver's arrows, but I don't think we ever have. No,
No, I think we have.
I think we have, but not as in like a close up of it. It's just like something that's just happened in the background. It's not something that's like the camera specifically focused on. Not that I can remember.
Maybe I have a feeling he did it to like Emiko or something. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, to be
Well,
fair,
let's
if it's with Emiko, then there's no question as to how I forgot it, because fucking Emiko. The shits of the Archer villains.
Oof.
Facts.
We did have a bunch of other stuff in this episode as well. Like, this is the Christmas episode, so we had the big Christmas party going on, which has one of my favorite comedy lines from Oliver, where he just walks in, finds Thea and that guy in the room, he just says, "Hit the road." The way he does that's brilliant. I love that.
Can I just say as well, that guy that they got, I think, what was his name? Shane. Just
Shane,
clearly
yeah.
a Colin Haynes ripoff lookalike.
Yeah,
As soon as I saw him, I was like, who's this discount Colin Haynes? What's he doing here? I don't remember you.
I always forget. I'm actually excited because that's actually just reminded me, like, Colton comes in like 5 episodes. That's gonna be fun. But I tell you a moment I actually really liked, which I kind of forgot about, is the bit where Tommy comes over and gives Laurel the gift of the photo, especially because like Quentin's there and he's like, oh, you know, this Merlin boy, he's like, he's just going off on one about how he's so selfish, and there's just like a photo of the 3 of them was really nice.
Mm.
I like that moment a lot.
With the old Sarah as well.
Yeah.
Not Katie Lotz.
Yeah, she's not Katie Lotz yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was a bit strange.
It'd be funny if, like, in the Blu-ray they just like changed it. It was just like, it's like, you know, in the Elseworlds crossover when they edited that photo of Barry and Iris and just stuck like Steven's head on it.
Oh god.
Oh no, that was so poorly done.
That was
Even
so
the ones of Steven and Emily when they're like in season.
Oh yeah, when they go.
Oh, don't remind me of those. Oh, no.
Yeah, they're like hiking. That's a really bad photo as well.
Good God. Why did you have to remind me of that?
You're so right. That guy is literally a B-Tech Colton Haynes. Scott Listener. I've literally just found a picture on the Arrowverse wiki, and I'll post it in the chat later. He just is like wannabe Colton Haynes.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe he auditioned for Roy, and then they were like, "Oh well, we like you because you have the look, but you're not Colton, so we're gonna have to give you something."
Picture I have, he's wearing a red hoodie.
Oh
no!
Don't even try. Don't even try, man.
Bruh, imagine if he was Roy.
Yeah.
And they recast him.
Shaggy hair.
Oh.
But I mean, I guess like the big kind of cliffhanger of this is we have Walter getting kidnapped. Gets drugged in the middle of an elevator and
say bye-bye to Walter now until the last 3 episodes of the season.
Yep, he's gone. And we also had like that bit as well with Malcolm and Moira, where Malcolm's just sort of further cementing himself as the main villain, just hamming it up as usual, as John Barrowman does. So again, this is like just further deepening the mystery a little bit. Like Malcolm's like, oh yeah, the organization and our plan for what this city should be will be ready to begin, and stuff like that. Starting to bring the Undertaking in, which is exciting. Oh yeah, there was the flashbacks as well. We got
the flashback. We got the flashbacks in this episode finally.
Yeah,
and they were awesome.
They were really cool in this. We get a bit more. Like I actually really like bloody what's his face, the army guy. What's his name?
The army guy.
What's his name?
I know what you're on about.
Fires.
That's it.
Yeah.
Edward Fires. I like how he's kind of just like trying to manipulate Oliver in this, and also like we kind of get hints about like what Yao Fei's like and his backstory and stuff, which is fun. And we still get more of Billy Wintergreen when he was still trying to be called Deathstroke at this point. Like it's funny, if you actually look on Amazon Prime, he's actually listed as Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't do their research, did they? Fake fans.
Oh, he actually is Colin Haynes, isn't he?
bloody Guggenheim.
I told you. As soon as I saw him, he literally looks like. I told you. I guarantee you, he was meant to be. He was meant to be a Roy Harper, but they couldn't get him back. Oh wow!
That actually just makes me. I was thinking about this earlier, just like as a complete tangent. So in season 8, in the premiere, this isn't me going off on a no. This isn't that.
Oh, he has to bring up season 8 to suit his agendas. Oh my word!
It's just a genuine question.
Deluded.
So in season 8, when obviously we go to Earth 2 and we see, plus I'm talking about episode 1. Everyone knows I love episode 1. So we see Earth
on the
2
whole
Green
season.
Arrow. Obviously our boy Adrian, right? Isn't Robert meant to be the Green Arrow of Earth 2?
Yeah, but Mark Guggenheim addressed this in an interview. They said that they didn't want to withhold themselves to an Easter egg from another show that was in for like a 5-minute snippet.
Oh, okay.
And plus also, he basically said that they also said as well that they wanted to show that there'd been a progression since then. So he alluded to the fact that maybe Robert had stopped being the Green Arrow since then, and that Adrian had taken over or whatever.
Yeah, I could have Adrian could have been like basically his Roy Harper. That would have been kind of cool.
Oh, give me that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already said I want an Earth 2 Green Arrow show, to be honest. And also, I think they couldn't. I didn't think they could get Jamie back that entire season because obviously he's not in the finale, and he's not in the entire season. So
no.
Anyway, it's just like a thought I had earlier. But yeah, I think this episode honestly is really good. Like I haven't gone into as much detail as I planned to. I actually wrote a lot of notes down, but this episode has gone on long enough.
Yeah. I want to say as well. Obviously, Mr. Laura Shipper here. We obviously have the fact that Laurel is struggling to continue a relationship with Tommy because something is holding her back. It's clearly your boy Oliver, because Oliver and Laurel are meant to be together.
Wait. No, this is the episode where Alyssa finally comes into fold.
Fuck off. Nope.
No.
No.
You could cut.
They were not flirting. They were not flirting. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. It's unrequited love. That's what it is. Unrequited love.
He said, did you not
Facts.
see that look he gave her?
Yeah, one of thank you for helping me. If you're not careful, I will think you Guggenheim with a voice modulator the way you're trying to retcon all of this, you little noob.
It's true.
I'd be careful what you say at the moment.
The way he went back and said Happy Hanukkah, that was he didn't have to do that.
He didn't.
He did.
Yeah, because he's respectful to Jews.
That's not the way I thought you were going to say that. The phrasing of that was. Oh my god. That's the thing. He's trying to phrase it weird so we can laugh because he's getting us distracted by the fact because obviously it is so true that it was true love. It was love at first sight in this moment, and
exactly.
like you can just see in their eyes like a flash forward to their awful marriage, where they completely just throw Barry and Iris under the bus.
Yeah, and the season where that marriage is a strong vocal point Declan actually somehow likes and is not the worst season in his eyes, but we won't mention that ever again for the billionth time until we get to that season. But no, Oliver and Laurel Endgame should have been Endgame.
I was talking about the marriage in season 6, but whatever.
Yeah, but that relationship as a whole, fuck that relationship. It's still shit in season 6.
I like Alyssa E. It was just written poorly. That's the thing.
It was written poorly at the end.
Because, like we said before, the CW is a lot of the time of their shows, it revolves around a relationship the Green Arrow obviously has the relationship with Laurel in the comics, which is probably the relationship they should have done, but they didn't, which is disappointing. But the Alyssa was good because I just like Stephen and Emily's chemistry.
Yeah, they had chemistry. I won't debate that. It was just that when those two were in a relationship, it made the entire season around it crumble because they put far too much attention on that, which in turn ultimately made that relationship, in my opinion, not work because I didn't like how it was written. And because of all that focus on that, everything else fell apart. Like I've said numerous times, for me, the back end of season 3 failed because of that. The whole of season 4 failed because of that. And I'd even argue to go as far as a lot of season 6 for me didn't work because at moments they just tried to push that relationship too hard.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Had they written it properly, I might have been able to get on board with it. But because of the fact that it managed to derail an entire season and even derail other parts of it, I could just never get on with it.
And it did just sort of bring a lot of
negativity and hot toxicity. I've had enough wars with Olicity fans to write an entire book series about it. It's honestly ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And yeah, it was just written poorly. But I like it. But I'm not gonna go out there and be like, Olicity is ahead of the whole of the Green Arrow's stories.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of them are like.
A lot of people just watch it for Olicity.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get away from Olicity.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, easy. I will mention as well, Thea did irritate me a few times in this episode. Again, Thea, she just has her odd scenes where she's just fucking irritating. It's just, what was it? I can't remember what scene it was, but there was one in particular where she's having a go at Oliver for the billionth time, and I'm just sat there what is wrong with this girl? Honestly, she just gets on my nerves. And it's only in this season. I think, though, if my memory serves me right, this is the last episode where I have a problem with her. After this, I'm pretty sure she gets better. But they send her off to CNRI, and she behaves herself. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of her in this episode. She pissed me off as usual. Also, as well, the bit where obviously after the fight scene with Oliver and the Dark Archer, where Oliver takes down Malcolm, he pulls a little fucking mini arrow out of nowhere, knocks him out, and then jumps off the building, and he calls for Diggle. Defo gave me a strong homages to Batman Begins. The scene where he gets wrecked by Scarecrow, and then he jumps to the roof and calls for Alfred.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got strong Batman Begins vibes off there. I was like, yeah, you definitely didn't nick that. That was definitely not original.
Yeah. I think that this episode, for me, I just so enjoyed going back to it. Because when you forget almost at times when you do these big rewatches that when you're not watching them weekly, that this is a mid-season finale, this is a big episode. And then when you rewatch it, you're like, oh yeah, there's actually a lot that goes down here. So are we ready to move into the score?
Yep.
I actually want to go first with this one.
Okay.
Because I'm excited to give this one the old 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I'm slapping the 10 on there.
Jesus.
I honestly have no negatives for this episode. I enjoyed it so much. I loved it. It was just so exciting. I loved everything that's happening in it. I liked the escalation. Obviously, we've got the proper villain introduced now. Just super cool stuff. I enjoyed all of it.
I might have to up my score a little bit.
Whatever your score is, you stick with it.
You
have it, whatever you want.
It wasn't low. It was just, yeah. I'm gonna get called Mr. 7. That's all I seem to give. But no, I'm gonna go with 8.5.
This man's breaking the rules now. He's doing decimal places. If you're not careful, you're going to turn into Benjamin, where you just come up with your own ranking system separate for everyone else.
We never agreed to this beforehand. We never cleared this with the studio. You can't.
Yeah, Deck, you did this last episode, didn't you?
I probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Are we saying those decimals?
You can have a decimal. I'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow you to have one. I'm not going to allow it for Declan, just because I'm a little bastard and I like to piss him off.
Nice. Yeah, 8.5. Really solid mid-season finale. My only thing about it was what I said earlier, in that the Dark Archer could have possibly been revealed in a later episode. But then again, I get why they revealed it now, because it was a mid-season finale. You're going to have a month's break, it's keeps you watching if you find out like who the villain is or something like that. So yeah, I can see why they did it, but then maybe why wasn't the Dark Archer introduced a couple of episodes ago? I don't know, to sort of build up.
I actually think they should have introduced him a couple episodes ago. I think he should have been introduced a bit earlier.
Yeah. Would have been really cool if Oliver and the Huntress got to fight Dark Archer, don't you think?
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool. Yeah. 8.5. We obviously got that reveal. We got the start of Olicity, which is really good.
No. Why? It's not the start of Olicity. It's not.
Actually, no, the start of Olicity.
It doesn't start until season 3, episode 1. That is when it becomes official.
That kiss at the end of season 2, I think you'll find.
It's not. There was a deleted scene, which clearly tells you that it wasn't. It was scrapped.
It was actually when he saw the red pen. That was the start of Olicity. Just saying.
True.
I just wasn't in that episode when you reviewed it, so I didn't get to say that.
Will you two please stop trying to bully me? Can you stop trying to hurt my feelings?
I'm with you, mate. I am a Laura shipper as well. I reckon it should have happened because it was like the comic book thing. It obviously didn't happen, but I like Olicity at the same time. I don't watch Arrow for the relationships. I watch it for badass fight scenes.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I'll get into.
Yeah, go on, mate. Give your score.
I was going back and forth between a 9 and a 10 for this one, but in the end, I ended up going with a 9 for two main reasons. One is that for a 10 out of 10, I don't like to just hand them out on a plate. For me, an episode's got to earn a 10 out of 10, as in literally be close to perfect, which I feel like episode 5 was, hence why it deserved it, and also because Laura. No, but it was just a generally great episode and I had no flaws with it. It's the same reason I didn't give the pilot a 10, because I just found there were a few errors and things I didn't like about the pilot, so I gave it a 9. For this one, I think it's a very good episode. I think it's one that went under the radar for me. I didn't really appreciate how good it was until I did my rewatch of season 1 a couple of months ago. And I went back to this episode, I was like, oh wow, this is a lot better than I remember it being. I think the only things that hold it back from a 10 for me is, like you say, I do feel like with the Dark Archer stuff, because they didn't set him up in previous episodes, they are kind of rushing a little bit to establish him as a big threat. It felt like that to me in this episode. So yeah, I do wish that maybe some of his stuff had been set up in maybe an episode or 2 prior. I don't think that really would have hurt all that much. And then, like I say, I think Thea was a bit irritating. In a few scenes in this episode. Oh, look, if Thea pisses me off, I'm going to mention it. You know me, I'm glass half empty. I will say, I speak the truth. I speak what people want to hear. But no, I still think it's a great episode. I think it's one that gets very underlooked. But like I say, when I think back to a 10 out of 10 episodes from this season, I think it just missed the mark. And also when I compare it to some of the banging mid-season finales we've had in seasons after this. Yeah. I think 9 for me is the perfect score for it.
Well, there you go. There is all different scores, a whole different variety of scores, which is very nice to see. So that draws this episode of On a Die Podcast to a close. Make sure if you enjoyed this episode to leave a like. And also share it around with any other DC TV fans who you know who may enjoy this sort of content. And also make sure you leave your own thoughts in the comment section down below. Who would you like to see cast as Batwoman, and what do you think of that news? What's your opinion on the Snyder Cut? Your thoughts on the Stargirl pilot, Legends, Arrow, and everything else? Make sure you leave it in the comment section down below. And as always, I've been Deck.
I have been Dan.
And I've been Shotgun Dan. I'm so glad I got to say my name.
Snuck it in.
Yes.
And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me, Hoss, or Shotgun Dan. And with all that said, we hope to see you guys again next time.